Simba Arati has delivered bad news to Raila Odinga.
It's unfortunate. Now, ndio unaona mtu analeta kwa TV. There's people scaring us. You know, us, we have the numbers. We want to tell you we have numbers and we are going to ask our people going forward. This vote must account.
Is Simba Arati planning to ditch the ODM party? That is the question which most Kenyans are currently asking.
Sitaki kuenda pande hiyo, nasikia machungu sana na tutakutana na yeye nitamuuliza maswali. Unajua kuna wakati mpaka watu they miss the times of the late Mzee Nyachai. I think we are going back there. Hakuna mtu pia atacheza na sisi.
Let's face it. Simba Arati is not your ordinary Kenyan. Simba Arati is one of the ODM deputy party leaders. And therefore, he should be the face of ODM party. Number two, Simba Arati is the current governor for Kisii. Raila Odinga brought Simba Arati to Kisii to take care of Kisii politics for him. Importantly, Simba Arati is one of the people projected to succeed Raila Odinga in Nyanza politics. So why would Simba Arati talk the way he spoke? I want you guys to listen to Simba Arati's speech before we proceed.
If we must move, if we must be in government, I want to say this. If we must be in government, we must be also feel that we are taken care of by the government. It's unfortunate. Now, ndio unaona mtu analeta kwa TV. There's people scaring us. You know, us, we have the numbers. We want to tell you we have numbers and we are going to ask our people going forward. This vote must account. Mkiona opportunity kidogo ikitokea inaenda mahali pamoja. Even hapa Nyanza ana opportunity ikitokea inapotea. Tunaambiwa kwamba there is a minister who was talking about 4 counties. Eti pesa amepeleka huko. We are in Nyanza. If we are talking about Nyanza, we must be one team and as a country. Sitaki kuenda pande hiyo, nasikia machungu sana na tutakutana na yeye nitamuuliza maswali. Unajua kuna wakati mpaka watu they miss the times of the late Mzee Nyachai. I think we are going back there. Hakuna mtu pia atacheza na sisi. Sisi pia tuko. We are part and parcel. Bwana Chirichiri. We are part and parcel of this country. Na lazima watu wengine pia waelewe namna hiyo. Wewe Kisii, the Omogusi community, and I want to state this, Omogusi community, the registered voters in Kisii is around 700,000. Nyamira, 300. That's 1 billion. 1 million. Then, if you check around the country, Nairobi, we have around 300,000. You go around the country, there is close to 1.1, around another 1 million registered voters. Omogusi. We have close to 2 million. We don't have numbers. I want to request you, give birth. We are putting in Ivory and registered voters so that people can realize we are made. Actually, as a community, even if you collected, we have only 9 constituencies. Therefore, the money which has been sent to one constituency of a member of parliament is equivalent 10 constituencies. You saw the other day in this revenue sharing, some people, because they are in CRA, they have allocated more, even taking away more money from the allocations we have in counties into their regions. Then we are busy abusing each other here, fights to show off, nothing. One member of parliament in Muranga allocated himself because he was the chairman of budget in parliament. 1 billion. Whereas, actually 1 point, I don't know what billion. 1.5 billion. Whereas our members of parliament ambao tunapiga kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, they only get 100 million. Then he has put cabros in every school. He has even gone ahead to give bursaries, full scholarship. How do you compare that member of parliament with a member of parliament of Bonjari here who has only 100 million? And that money is not directly in education.
If you paid very close attention to Simba Arati's speech, so me, I got the following. Number one, Simba Arati is very clear that if you want to tell them that they are in government or they are part of government, then they must feel taken care of. Which means right now, Simba Arati and the Kisii community, they don't feel to be part of the broad-based government. Number two, Simba Arati is also warning anybody to stop scaring them because they have the numbers. In fact, Simba Arati is going further to quote even those numbers they have. And importantly, Simba Arati is warning that their votes must count. So if Simba Arati or if the Kisii community gave you votes in the last election and you are part of the government, their votes must count. And importantly, he's also warning that nobody will play with them again. In this video, I want us to analyze that speech by Simba Arati. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. First of all, there is this story from Molo, where some gentleman was apparently killed, and the residents there decided, no, they went to the mortuary, took the body, and demonstrated with the body in the streets. The gentleman is a Luo. The people demonstrating are, majority of them are Kikuyus. As a country, there is something which we must learn from that particular incident, as much as it's unfortunate. Tribalism is caused by our leaders. The ordinary Kenyan are living peacefully. The guy I've gathered is called Molo President. He's loved and is unfortunate, but we must learn something from that particular incident. Maybe someone somewhere wants now to create division between the Luos and the Kikuyus, so that the Luos will say, okay, this guy was killed by the Kikuyus, but the residents there have shown unity. I wish our leaders would learn something from that. Let us get back now to this particular issue of Arati. Why would Arati, the ODM party leader who has access to Raila Odinga anytime he wants to, go public with whatever he said? Number one, I think there is Fred Matang'i factor in Kisii politics, and it is taking shape. I was talking to someone the other day, and he told me that the Kisii opinion leaders have made an agreement, and they have decided that all of them are going to rally behind Fred Okengo Matang'i. And that if Okengo Matang'i is going to fail, they are going to fail with him. And they are going to do everything within their powers to ensure that Matang'i becomes the next president of the Republic of Kenya. In fact, the same guy was telling me that even the rejection of appointment by Timothy Bosire was as a result of the move by the community. They don't want, some of these guys have decided they are going to support Matang'i, and therefore they don't want anything to do with William Ruto. That's why Bosire declined that particular appointment. But the question is, can they succeed? Of course, even Arati himself in that particular speech alluded to some numbers. The fact is, Matang'i, if the Kisii community can rally behind him, the Kikuyu can rally behind him if Uhuru Kenyatta were to push for him, the entire country can rally him. I don't see how the Gen Zs will pick any other candidate other than Fred Okengo Matang'i, because the Gen Zs are now a major factor in our politics. And of course, even in the Luo nation here. And this is the fact. As much as Raila is working with Ruto, so many people are yet to embrace that broad-based government. And therefore, if Matang'i were to decide to position himself well, he will easily win the seat. But the Kisii community have decided, and I think it's going to be very difficult for any other political party, ODM party included, to succeed in the Gusii community if Matang'i will be on the ballot. I want you guys to take that to the bank. And I think that is something which is forcing people like Arati to start doing whatever they're doing, so that by the time we will be heading towards the 2027 election, they shall position themselves alongside towards the direction of the community. That's number two. We can also conclude that Simba Arati, what Simba Arati is saying is not news. It's actually some discontent against the broad-based government. And you see, William Ruto is a very shrewd politician. Very shrewd. When William Ruto allowed Raila Odinga to appoint his team, Raila Odinga had to pick two individuals from Nyanza. He had to pick Oparanya, he had to pick the Turkana lady, and he had to pick Joho. But Kenyans are now focusing more on the two, Badi and Wandai. So that it appears as if Raila only picked the Luos. Kisii had a cabinet secretary, which means there's no way ODM would have given them a position. They would have two. ODM would have had to pick someone else. But Ruto is also keen on Kisii, and that's why he had to pick his own person. So there is a lot of discontent within ODM party over this broad-based government. Arati is saying it. Number three, it is now clear that ODM party has factions. I don't know which faction Arati belongs to, but I think it's part of the faction which don't really believe in this broad-based government. Otherwise, if he believed in the broad-based government, Arati, I know, because even before Raila Odinga joined the government, Arati had met William Ruto and they had started working with William Ruto before. So it's just the fact that there are factions within ODM party. And the other faction is now being viewed as part of the people enjoying the unite faction, the Wadais faction. Orengo faction, probably where Arati is, are like, we are not really part of that government. And lastly, not really lastly, number four, I think Arati is also trying to raise his profile. By raising his profile, it means when negotiations begin, he's going to force himself on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, and lastly, it's about the Kisii kingpin politics. You see, the politics of Kisii is taking shape, and that's something we can't deny. There is the emergence of Fred Okengo Matang'i, which is taking the ground by storm. There is also UDA there. Then there is also ODM. So who is the Kisii kingpin? A kingpin must be someone who can actually advocate for the rights, fight for the rights of the community. Arati is now coming out as the guy who can fight for the community. And that's politics. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.